If you've ever sunk your teeth into the perfect balance of crunch, chew, and smooth chocolate, you know there's something almost magical about a Twix bar. It's one of those candies that somehow manages to be both comfortingly familiar and exciting every single time you unwrap it. But have you ever stopped mid-bite and wondered how this caramel and biscuit masterpiece came to be? Or why two identical sticks are wrapped together in the same shiny golden package as if they're long lost? Twins who refuse to be separated. Today, we're going behind the scenes to explore the surprisingly fascinating history and production secrets of Twix, followed by a trip into the sizzling, crispy world of Popeye's fried chicken. Because who says we can't mix a little dessert with dinner? Get ready, because this is going to make you crave both a candy bar and a chicken sandwich before we're done. The story of Twix begins in the United Kingdom, back in 1967. But back then, it didn't have the snappy, modern name we know today. Instead, it went by the rather clunky title Raider, a name that sounds more like a medieval soldier than a sweet snack. Raider was the brainchild of the candy geniuses at Mars, who decided that if cookies were already good, then cookies covered with caramel and milk chocolate would be irresistible. And they were right. The bar's biscuit base was crisp and buttery, the caramel gooey and rich, and the whole thing wrapped in smooth, sweet milk chocolate. It was decadent without being overwhelming, and it had just the right balance of textures to keep people coming back. Raider made its way to the United States in the 1970s, but there was no way America was going to warm up to something called Raider. After some brainstorming and probably a lot of taste testing, the name Twix was born, reportedly a mashup of twin and mix to reflect the two-stick format. The rebranding worked, and soon Twix was on its way to becoming one of the most popular candy bars in the world. Of course, no story about Twix is complete without mentioning the famous Left Twix versus Right Twix marketing campaign, one of the most genius and playful rivalries in candy history. According to the ads, the two sticks are made differently. Left Twix is draped with caramel and cloaked in chocolate, while Right Twix is flowed with caramel and bathed in chocolate. The differences are ridiculous. Of course, both taste exactly the same, but the friendly feud gave the brand a personality, turning it into more than just a candy bar. Over the years, Twix has experimented with variations like peanut butter Twix, cookies and cream Twix, white chocolate Twix, and even some short-lived flavors that quietly disappeared from store shelves. But the classic caramel version remains the gold standard, found in vending machines, checkout aisles, Halloween baskets, and just about every place you might get a sudden craving for something sweet. So, how does a Twix bar go from raw ingredients to the perfectly packaged treat in your hand? It starts with the biscuit base, which is a precise blend of wheat flour, sugar, butter, water, and a pinch of salt. Industrial mixers combine these ingredients into a dough that's soft enough to roll, but firm enough to hold its shape. Large rollers flatten the dough into thin sheets, which are then cut into those signature rectangular pieces. Every scrap of dough is collected and recycled into future batches to ensure nothing goes to waste. The raw biscuits are baked in massive tunnel ovens, where controlled heat ensures they're golden brown and crisp without becoming too hard. As they bake, a chemical process called the Maillard reaction kicks in, creating those rich, toasty flavors and giving the biscuits their inviting color. Once the biscuits cool, it's time for caramel, the chewy heart of Twix. This is made fresh on site by heating sugar, glucose syrup, and milk until it caramelizes into a deep golden mixture. The glucose syrup keeps it smooth and stretchy, while the milk adds creaminess. The caramel is spread in a perfectly measured layer on top of each biscuit, so it bonds without spilling over. Next comes the chocolate coating. Twix uses milk chocolate, made from a blend of cocoa solids, sugar, and milk powder. Before coating, the chocolate is tempered, heated, and cooled in a precise process that ensures it has a glossy finish and satisfying snap. The caramel-topped biscuits pass through an enrober, where a curtain of melted chocolate cascades over each bar. Excess chocolate drips away, and air jets blow off any remaining drips for a clean finish. After cooling and temperature-controlled, tunnels to set the chocolate without causing cracks or bloom. The bars are wrapped in their signature golden foil, sealed for freshness, and boxed for shipment. Within days, they're on shelves, ready for the next snack attack. Twix is enduring. Success isn't just about taste, it's about consistency, quality, and clever branding. Every bar is made to the same high standards, and Mars has committed to sourcing quality ingredients while also working toward more sustainable practices. It's that mix of reliability and creativity that has kept Twix at the top of the candy game for decades. And now that we've satisfied your sweet tooth, let's turn up the heat, literally, and see what makes Popeye's fried chicken one of the most craved fast food items in America. Popeyes, the Louisiana-born fast food chain, famous for its crispy, flavor-packed chicken, started in 1972 in Arabi, Louisiana. Founder Al Copeland originally opened Chicken on the Run. But the early menu lacked the bold, spicy flavors we now associate with the brand. After struggling to gain traction, Copeland rebranded in 1976 as Popeye's Chicken and Biscuits, inspired by a character from the movie The French Connection. This time, he went all in on a signature Cajun-style spice blend that set Popeyes apart from the milder fried chicken competitors. The result? A loyal fan base that would help Popeyes grow into an international brand. The chain really took off in the 1980s, adding iconic sides like red beans and rice, Cajun fries, and those flaky, buttery biscuits that could almost be a meal on their own. But it wasn't until 2019 that Popeyes entered a whole new level of fame. Their chicken sandwich, a crispy, juicy chicken breast on a toasted brioche bun with pickles and creamy mayo or spicy sauce, went viral, sparking chicken sandwich wars and causing lines to wrap around city blocks. For weeks, Popeyes stores across America sold out daily, proving that sometimes one menu item can change everything. But behind the scenes, making Popeye's chicken is a careful process that starts long before it hits the fryer. The brand sources its chicken from major U.S. suppliers like Tyson Foods, Pilgrim's Pride, and Sanderson Farms. Birds are raised in climate-controlled barns, with strict attention to diet, health, and welfare. Once they reach the ideal size, usually at 5 to 7 weeks, they're transported in temperature-controlled trucks to processing plants, where they're humanely stunned, slaughtered, and carefully processed into cuts like breasts, thighs, wings, and drumsticks. The real magic begins in the marination stage. Popeye's chicken is marinated for at least 12 hours in a proprietary blend of Louisiana seasonings, allowing the flavor to infuse all the way through the meat. This step is crucial. It's what gives Popeye's chicken that distinctive savory, spicy punch in every bite. After marination, the chicken is hand-battered and breaded in a mixture of seasoned flour, ensuring an uneven, craggy coating that fries up extra crispy. Industrial fryers cook the chicken at carefully controlled temperatures, locking in juiciness while achieving that perfect golden crunch. Once cooked, the chicken is held for a short period to maintain crispness without drying out, then served fresh. Every bite delivers a combination of textures: the crackle of the crust, the tenderness of the meat, and the lingering warmth of those Cajun spices. Whether it's served in a sandwich, as a two-piece meal with biscuits and sides, or in a family box, Popeye's chicken delivers an experience that's both comforting and crave-worthy. Twix and Popeyes may seem like an odd pairing, but they actually share a surprising similarity. Both have built lasting legacies by perfecting their core product, staying consistent with quality, and keeping customers engaged with clever marketing and occasional limited-time twists. Twix offers a sweet, satisfying crunch that's perfect for dessert, while Popeyes delivers a savory, spicy indulgence that hits the spot for lunch or dinner. Together, They prove that when you commit to doing one thing exceptionally well, whether it's a candy bar with caramel or fried chicken with Cajun flair, you can turn a simple product into a cultural icon. When it comes to fast food, fried chicken, few names spark cravings like Popeyes. There's something about that first bite, the crisp, golden crust that shatters under your teeth, giving way to juicy, flavorful meat that has people lining up across America. But have you ever wondered what makes Popeye's chicken so irresistibly good? It's not just a lucky accident or a pinch of Cajun magic. It's a process perfected over decades, starting with a marinade so bold and flavorful it could probably win awards on its own. And once you know how much work and care goes into every piece, you'll appreciate that spicy, savory crunch even more. It all begins in the marination stage, where the distinctive flavor of Popeye's chicken starts to take shape. Each piece is immersed in a proprietary brine solution, a carefully guarded recipe that includes garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, cayenne pepper, and other signature spices. This brine does double duty. It infuses every bite with flavor from the inside out, while also tenderizing the meat so it stays juicy after cooking. The process isn't rushed. The chicken soaks for hours, sometimes overnight, allowing the seasonings to penetrate deep into the muscle fibers. Often, the brine contains buttermilk, which not only adds tang, but also gently breaks down the meat for that fall-off-the-bone tenderness Popeyes fans know so well. While other chains might rely on a basic salt and water soak, Popeyes leans into a complex Cajun-inspired spice profile that creates an unmistakable depth of flavor. Once marinated, the chicken moves on to the breading station, the stage that transforms it from well-seasoned meat into crispy, crave-worthy fried perfection. Popeyes uses a two-step breading process, a technique that might sound simple but is executed with precision. First, each piece is dredged in a seasoned flour mixture that mirrors the bold spice mix from the brine. This initial coating sets the stage for flavor and texture. Then comes the second layer of seasoned flour, which builds up that extra crunch Popeyes is famous for. The goal is to create a crust sturdy enough to hold up even after sitting under the restaurant's heat lamps, without going soggy. This double-dip technique also helps seal in all that brine-infused moisture, ensuring each bite stays juicy. Now comes the make-or-break moment, the fry. Popeyes uses industrial fryers set at an optimal 350 degrees Fahrenheit, about 175 degrees Celsius, to ensure even cooking. Chicken is fried in small batches to prevent overcrowding, which can lead to uneven crisping or soggy breading. The oil is a high-quality vegetable blend that delivers a light, crisp texture while locking in the meat's natural moisture. Fry times vary depending on the cut, but most pieces are cooked for about 12 to 15 minutes. Timing here is everything. Long enough to produce a golden crust, but short enough to keep the meat tender. Once perfectly fried, the chicken is lifted from the bubbling oil and placed on racks to drain any excess grease before heading to a holding station in the holding area. Popeyes follows a strict first-in, first-out system to ensure freshness. Each batch has a set time limit before it must be served, and staff rotate trays regularly to prevent the chicken from drying out. This careful quality control means customers can expect that perfect, hot, crispy bite no matter the time of day. And while the chicken takes center stage, the sides are an essential part of the experience. Creamy mashed potatoes with Cajun gravy, red beans, and rice. And those legendary buttery biscuits, they all come together to create what feels less like fast food and more like a Southern comfort feast. Of course, in recent years, Popeyes has also become a major player in the chicken sandwich wars. When they launched their chicken sandwich in 2019, a thick, crispy breast fillet tucked into a soft brioche bun with creamy mayo and pickles, the internet lost its collective mind. Stores sold out in hours. People waited in lines that wrapped around city blocks. The sandwich didn't just compete, it redefined the category. Today, it's a staple on the menu, and for many fans, it's the very definition of what a fast food chicken sandwich should be. The consistency is part of what keeps Popeyes at the top of the fried chicken game. Whether you're grabbing a box in New Orleans or New York City, you know exactly what you're going to get. That same rich, seasoned flavor, the same satisfying crunch, and the same hot, fresh quality every single time. From brine to breading to fryer, the process is tightly controlled, ensuring that no step is rushed or skipped. This dedication to craft is why Popeyes isn't just a restaurant. For many, it's a craving that has to be satisfied again and again. But speaking of American food icons, there's another product that's managed to hold its place in the hearts and pantries of millions: the Pop-Tart. Kellogg sells over 2 billion Pop-Tarts a year, enough to stack them to the moon and back. They've been breakfast staples, late-night snacks, and the secret weapon of road trips for decades. And like Popeye's chicken, they're the product of a process that's as fascinating as it is precise. Pop-Tarts were born in the 1960s, an era when America was obsessed with innovation. People were blasting into space, rocking out to the Beatles, and apparently getting impatient with breakfast. Post, the cereal company, had an idea for a shelf-stable fruit pastry that could be heated in a toaster. They called it Country Squares, but they made a crucial mistake. They announced it before it was ready. Kellogg saw the opportunity and fast-tracked its own version. By 1964, Pop-Tarts hit store shelves, their name inspired by the pop art movement. Early flavors included strawberry, blueberry, apple currant, and brown sugar cinnamon, and they were an instant success. At first, they didn't have frosting. It couldn't survive the toaster without melting into a mess. But in 1967, Kellogg's engineers cracked the code, minting a heat-resistant frosting that changed breakfast forever. The making of a Pop-Tart today is a well-orchestrated operation. It begins with mixing enriched wheat flour, sugar, salt, water, and fats like palm oil into a dough that's soft but sturdy enough to hold its filling. Massive industrial mixers handle the job, ensuring perfect consistency. The dough is then rolled into thin, even sheets using giant sheeters before moving to the filling station. Fruit fillings are made from a blend of real fruit puree, sugar, corn syrup, and stabilizers like pectin, cooked until thick and glossy. Precision machines deposit the exact amount of filling onto the dough, no more, no less, before a second dough sheet is laid over the top. The layers are sealed together with crimping machines, giving Pop-Tarts their iconic rectangular edges. Small perforations are poked in the top to let steam escape during baking. Excess dough is collected and reused, ensuring nothing goes to waste. The pastries then travel through a tunnel oven the length of a basketball court, baking at up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit until the crust is firm and lightly golden. After cooling, they head to the frosting station, where ribbons of sweet glaze are drizzled over the tops. If sprinkles are part of the design, they're added while the frosting is still tacky. Before packaging, each Pop-Tart passes through an AI-assisted quality control system that checks for uniformity in filling placement, frosting coverage, and shape. Any that don't meet the standard are set aside for reprocessing or internal testing. Finally, the pastries are wrapped in foil pouches, a design that keeps them fresh for months and boxed for shipment. In just a few hours, raw ingredients are transformed into one of the most recognizable snacks in the world. Pop-Tarts have managed to stay relevant by constantly reinventing themselves. Seasonal flavors, collaborations with pop culture brands, and viral marketing campaigns keep them in the spotlight. Whether you prefer yours toasted or straight from the foil, frosted or unfrosted, Pop-Tarts carry a nostalgic charm that bridges generations. They're proof that a snack doesn't have to be complicated to be loved. It just has to deliver flavor, convenience, and a little bit of fun. From the briny spice bath of Popeye's chicken to the perfectly crimped edges of a Pop-Tart, these Two foods might seem worlds apart, but they share one thing. Both are crafted with a mix of science, precision, and a deep understanding of what makes people happy. And in a country that loves its comfort food, that's a recipe for staying power.